Butch and Bob Show.
World famous Butch and Bob Show here on WIFO 105.5 FM in Jesup for this 11th day of April. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Good. Doing good. Glad I don't have to go to Brunswick again.
Yeah, I didn't know if you wouldn't be able to go over today if you'd had to, because you got hit to Wood Romans to do a doubleheader baseball game this afternoon. Started at 3:50.
They said they had a bunch of defense witnesses, but they couldn't get one of the witnesses to testify because the judge ruled against that. So they rested their case, so they got it done yesterday. So don't have to go back today. So
once again,
Larry Jenkins convicted once again for the third time, all 6 counts. Just a sad and tragic story. It took place in '93. Just felt sorry for the Ralston family having to sit there through that trial again. So but it was a tough week for them, but fortunately justice again prevailed. So he goes back to prison where he's been for the last 32 years.
Okay.
Like I told you, I'm just shocked. If I spent 32 years in a prison sentence, I believe I'd take the witness stand and say somebody else did it.
Yeah, but he didn't. Larry Jenkins did not take the stand.
Never moved. I was like, "What are you doing? You got another chance for a trial." I mean, somebody.
All you got to do is convince one of those jurors, put some doubt in him, because you had 3 other guys in the van with you the next day. So
a ghost. Somebody did it, not me.
Yeah.
you got to convince one, but he just didn't even take the witness stand. So that was
just a very tragic situation. I remember,
it was just a bad.
The community was just in shock about this back in January of '93.
I'm showing my age. I was at all 3 trials. I was there in '95, 2014, and this week. So, but luckily, I said it's just sad. It's
a very sad situation, and hopefully this won't come up again. We thought after 2014 it wouldn't come up again. They only brought it up then because he was a minor when it happened, and then so they redid the trial. And why it happened again this time, I have no idea.
It was interesting. In court yesterday was the jury foreperson of the first trial back in 1995.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he came. He lives in Brunswick now, so he was there. He wanted to come see what took place, so he was happy that he was telling me that, back then they had to sentence him to death, and he said that it was a debate, but he made sure that, he wanted the death penalty back in 95, and he was able to get everybody on the same page. So that's what happened back in 1995. He was sentenced to death, but as I said, the law changed. You can't sentence teenagers to death. That's why I got the second trial in '95. So
in 2014,
right? Yeah.
And so, just a very tragic situation for the Ralstons and for the Carters, and it's just a shame they had to go through it again. But it didn't take that jury 1 hour to come back with 6 counts of guilty once again.
I mean, it was pretty evident, and I said the evidence hasn't changed. And I said it was interesting on Tuesday. It was like a who's who of law enforcement. I hadn't seen some of these officers. Most of these guys are Ray Jackson, still here from the Georgia State Patrol. Worked 18 years. He's retired. Harold Smith, 30. All these law enforcement officers that worked that case all the way back in '93 started to come. This is like a who's who of former Wayne County law enforcement officers.
Most retired.
Right, all retired.
Be the trial.
Yeah. The GBI agent been retired for 15 years. He lives in Arizona. They had to fly him in from Arizona, Joe Gregory. So,
wow.
It's crazy.
All right, well, let's continue on here with the world-famous Butch and Bob Show. We've got guests in here this morning. Bob, who do we have?
We got the Mattinglys in here. I'm going to turn over to Shauna Mattingly. She's got all the details. And first of all, explain people what you do for a living and who you're with and what this event's all about.
Yes, sir. My name is Shauna Mattingly. I'm the clinical director and owner of Anchored, and it's a unique clinical practice for behavioral health, which means we provide services for mental health and substance abuse disorder and here in Wayne County, and we've grown. I started my practice in 2006, and it's grown to a group practice in 2015, and we opened a nonprofit in 2019. So we're just really building into taking care of the community and providing a lot of awareness for the issues that people face. And so I'm just really happy to be able to be here and share what we're doing right now for this event.
And where's it located? Where are you located at?
So we're hosting the 3rd annual Be Kind to Your Mind run, and it's actually going to be downtown this year. So for the first 2 years it was at JC Stadium, but we've partnered with the Chamber of Commerce, the City of Jesup, Downtown Development Authority, and the tourism board to host the run downtown, which will bring just so much more awareness to that mental health matters and people in recovery that are celebrating where they've come, or families who are honoring a difficult situation or someone that they've lost.
Be kind to your mind.
Yes, sir.
I like that slogan right there. Be kind to your mind.
Yes.
And y'all will start there at the train depot?
Yes, sir. We're going to have some activities at the train depot, too. The packet pickup will be the night before from 5 to 7, so everybody will have their T-shirt and their bib. That morning, we're going to have we're going to have a selfie station with Insta photos by Pamela, and she's going to have the 360 camera. So we're going to have some fun events, some things that are going on just to have fun, and we're going to have the runners. We have competitive runners coming, and we have people coming who are, like I said, just supporting a family member that will likely walk. So that's our biggest question is, can I walk? Yes, we'll have competitive runners. It is a competitive run, but we also have people
Can you like shuffle?
Yes.
You know, Bob and I are getting to the stage where, you know, we do a little more shuffling than we do anything else. I mean, we used to be runners back in high school and college, but now we just kind of shuffle. So we can do the 1 mile shuffle, right?
The shuffle is good.
Okay. I just want to make sure that we can shuffle.
We can shuffle for, just bring in what we want people to do is come out and show that they support the work we do at Anchored, and the purpose behind this is to spread awareness that our mental health does matter. We can be kind to our mind. We can take care of ourselves. The opposite of addiction is connection. And when we do events like this, our goal is to just increase human connection.
So y'all have a two-pronged thing. One's mental health and one's substance abuse.
Yes, sir.
Y'all help treat both of those there at Anchored and Wellness. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, you're in a target-rich environment here when it comes to mental health here at the radio station.
Where's Anchor?
I asked my daughter-in-law one time if she could help me because she was going into mental health, and
Yes.
she says, Butch, I can't perform miracles.
I love it.
Yeah. Where's Anchored and Wellness located?
We are right across from the historic courthouse, and so we're in the plaza where I think a long time ago it used to be the Department of Labor, near the Leap Heart building,
I got you.
and so we're
right
in
across from the courthouse.
right across from the
right
courthouse.
across from the courthouse there
Yes.
on Brunswick Street.
And how do people register for this race, and what's the cost and
Okay.
things like that?
So we have a link that's on our social media. Our Instagram or Facebook has the link, and it's through Run Sign Up. And you can click there, and the cost is $25 to do the run. You get a T-shirt. We develop a T-shirt each year that's a T-shirt you can wear all year. It's not just a run shirt. So the T-shirt is something you can wear all year long to promote mental health awareness. And it is like kind of conversation starter to get people talking about why mental health matters. And so the link is up, and you have until, if you register before April 21st, you're guaranteed a shirt. Anybody who registers after that, we will do everything we can to have a shirt available. But we're asking people to try to register before April 21st, but you can register even that morning.
What events? What kind? Usually they have like a mile or 5K or something like that. What do y'all have for y'all's mental health run?
Yes, sir. We have the same, a 1 mile run and walk. We call it 1 mile run walk,
Okay.
and a 5K run walk.
Now you just
And
got to
so-
do a little slash there. 1 mile walk, run,
Yes.
shuffle.
We will add the shuffle. When you register, you can do one or you can do both. And so on the online, you can see the
You can
on
do
the road
both.
sign.
Both
You can do
events.
both.
What time do they start?
The 1 mile starts at 8, and the 5K starts at 8:30.
Okay.
So we hope to be finished up by 9:30, and we're encouraging all of our runners to go downtown and shop. A lot of our businesses have already committed to like 10% off if you show your bib. In the stores, to go down, eat at the restaurants downtown, go to get a coffee from the Connection, go to our boutiques. We found that a lot of people come to Jesup for our boutiques, and so we're encouraging people to come from out of town, go do our run, shop, stay downtown, and kind of honor the purpose of what we're doing.
And you said on here it says Mental Health Awareness Month, so that April is?
May is. So
May
our
is.
run is
Okay.
May 10th. And we've
Oh, that's
done,
right. This is May.
That's okay.
Yeah,
We've
this is in
done
May.
this
Right.
consistently in May because May is Mental Health Awareness Month.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
And you brought your husband. You want to let him talk?
I
What's
did.
this
I
one?
do. I would rather him talk.
Oh, you've been doing well there, Shauna. So,
It's funny. I don't know. I think Shauna felt like she needed me here. She didn't need me here. She's doing great.
She's doing great.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm proud of her. One thing she didn't mention, and I am proud of her, I'll take a minute to brag on her. She didn't mention the Waycross facility she just opened. So Anchored's also located here in Jesup, and then she just opened a Waycross facility about 60 days ago. We've been providing services there about a year now in a satellite setting, but she has her own brick and mortar location there, so it's starting to scale and provide services to other rural communities here in South Georgia. I'm proud of all her hard work.
you must have a pretty good staff then if you're expanding like that.
It takes a team. That's exactly right. And real proud of the team. I think Shauna's been really intentional about recruiting folks that have specific skill sets because not everybody needs are the same. And that helps us serve individuals right where they are and what they need. Yeah.
Somebody just texted in. If you have questions or comments, you can always text us our regular business line, which is 912-427-3711. Someone just texted in. Will you have youth shirts available for the walk run?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
When you go online, you can sign up. Like if your child does the fun run, the 1 mile, they can get a youth size shirt.
Okay.
This year, last year, we did not have that option.
Okay.
Yeah. I do want to let Cameron talk for a minute about some of the new work we're doing with the nonprofit. We've been successful in some homeless transition work, and so we do want people to know that all the proceeds of this run go toward our nonprofit work, which is a lot of help for people who are underinsured, who need mental health services, or people who are in homeless transitions. I'll let him just speak to that for a second.
So Anchored's model, what traditionally started was you come in for care and bill your insurance and we help you, or if you don't have insurance, there's this cash model that you could run, but you could come get services. And over time, when you work in this space, Shauna became very aware of social needs in our community, that there were just gaps, there weren't services for it. And so about 7 years ago, we started a nonprofit arm of Anchored that the clinical side of the house is traditional. It's bill your insurance and all the things. The nonprofit side of the house are for folks that don't have those means, whether they're uninsured, underinsured, or they just don't have the resources to pay for care. A lot of that work in our town, it started around addiction. Folks that deal with substance abuse and their families that are dealing with loved ones in that space, the resources aren't there. Or there's no understanding of how to navigate it, what to do. So from a case management perspective and a social work perspective, we begin coaching and teaching and helping people in need in that area. And we're very thankful for grant funding that's helped the sustainability of those services. The nonprofit now employs 3 people, and we provide free substance abuse counseling here in Jesup every day. As often as people want to come, they're able to come, schedule appointments with credentialed therapists. There's also a referral process that sometimes folks use, and they're masking or numbing or dealing with something that's underlying, and now they're sober and they've got to face these things that they're dealing with, right? Trauma is real. It doesn't expire. Grief is real. It doesn't expire. You have to process things. Emotional healing is very real, and it's a process that in the nonprofit side, that's probably the primary that we see is maintaining sobriety, but then also helping the person heal past just being sober. But what's the underlying, where are the things? So those services are all there, and have been successful in the substance abuse space for several years now. The homeless transition work is really hard work, and it's not something Anchored is not raising their hands right now to say that we have resources that can help every homeless person in Jesup. We don't, but we have been able to help some, and we're going to continue to help as many as we can. We're operating an apartment right now that's transitioning a couple people at a time. We've been successful to transition 3 people this year already. Doesn't take much. It's a little bit of money, some time, somebody loving on them, being a friend, and they can transition. Thankful for our housing authority. We've got a great partnership with them, that we've been able to work with them and help transition citizens. That our housing authority, I had a great experience with them as we onboarded someone into that process a month or so ago. I went through the whole orientation and the whole process with this person, and I was so impressed at the level of care and the professionalism. And it was my first time being there, interacting with them. I've never had to be a beneficiary of our housing authority, but I was very impressed with that. So, all that to say, the sustainability around homeless services for Anchored right now is not in place. We have some good sustainable resources for funding to keep these employees in place on the substance abuse side of the nonprofit, but on the homeless transition side, this has all been funded through local donations. So the run itself is going to be a way to generate some revenue to put some sustainability funds against the transitional house and the case managers that are helping transition these folks and the resources that are needed inside the home: water bill, power bill, food. We do, part of the model is getting people to work, and that's where the successful transition comes in. Is there's usually a month or so that someone needs to get on their feet, and then within that month they're at work and they become sustainable themselves, and then we can transition them out of the home and someone else come in. We furnish the home through donations, so some people in town have been a part of that a few times. So beds, couches, end tables, kitchen items, everybody has something extra laying around the house that they're willing to donate to the transition home. And we put that stuff in a home, and then when the person transitions out, they get to take all those things with them. And as they leave, they start over with a sustainable roof over their head and furnishings for their home.
Once again, tell us the date of the run, Shauna, and how people can register for the run.
May 10th. So go to our social media, and there's a link at the top. Our Instagram handle is at Anchored189, and our Facebook is just Anchored. All the links are there. We've been posting fun videos. The links to the run will get you to your registration. You'll be able to choose your shirt size, and then you will be ready to pick up your packet on the night before, May 9th, from 5 to 7 at the train depot. And I think that's...
And I like what you have built here. People want to know, how's the money spent in a certain way.
Yes.
100% of proceeds from registration donations will directly fund services in Wayne County through Anchored's 501c3 nonprofit. So the nonprofit side of Anchored is where this money will go.
Yes, sir.
And of course, you have the side that you have with insurance, but this is the nonprofit side, because there's a lot of folks, as you mentioned out there, don't have insurance, underinsured, going through situations where they, won't have that type of help. So this will help out as a big fundraiser for those folks.
Right.
All right. Bob, anything else for our guests this morning?
Just hats off to you for it's a much needed service in Wayne County, and like I said, it's taken off, and now you're expanding. So hats off to you, and appreciate you coming in.
Yeah. I want to thank y'all for honoring Michael too. Ralston, I was a good friend of his, and I was in that class. I was in his class in school, and so I appreciate y'all covering that and honoring his family.
Yeah, Terry, in high school, when I was in high school, Terry, the Carters, lived right next door to us, the Anderson subdivision, so I knew them very, very well.
Mm-hmm. I have the privilege of knowing Josh now, and I just thank y'all for honoring and
they
covering
showed
this.
They took his learner's permit, but they showed that to the jury, and I forgot what a good-looking kid that was. And like I said, they, throughout the trials, they talked about how he was protective of his mother. The mother tried to tell him to run, get away, but he wouldn't leave his mother's side. And that, he fought for his mother to the end. So it just, he
was an amazing kid.
Yeah, talking to the Ross family this week, like I said, it was sad to have to sit there through another trial. But like I said,
sir.
Luckily it went the way everybody was hoping it would go.
Yes,
so,
sir. Thank you.
All right. If y'all need to come back on, let us know.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
The run is on May 10th, so if you want to come back on that, you can, and just check on Anchored. Can you just Google Anchored and Jesup, and then be able to find out how to register for the race and run on May 10th?
We are promoting our new website, but I do not know if it is live yet. You can find it at www.anchoredonline.com.
Anchoredonline.com.
And our social media is the best place right now. You can actually do an online referral, new patient referral from our new website, and it has a lot of really great information on it. So our website or our social media is the best way.
Is it just anchored, not anchored in wellness, is just anchored down?
We brand as Anchored because we put the two sides together. So Anchored in Wellness is our for-profit side, and Anchored in Community is our nonprofit.
Okay.
So we brand as Anchored, and just to make it simpler.
All right. Y'all take care.
Yeah, thank
Well, Bob, have a safe trip up to Warner Robins today for the Wayne County doubleheader against Warner Robins in varsity baseball action.
Yeah, leaving early, so got to go.
All right. Take care. All right. World famous Butch and Bob show here on WIFO 105.5 FM in Jesup has been brought to you by First Southern Bank, by the Service Department of GNS Auto Sales, by Murphy Builder Supply, and by Heron Aldridge Insurance.